Well, hello, hello. This is Cindy B, Authentically Me, and I'm here today to talk to you about scammers, scammers, and scams, and how not to become a victim. Let me tell you what led to this video to begin with. Number one, we've all dealt with scams and scammers in one way or another. You might not even know it, but in the first place. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I was asking her, "What do you think I should use as topics for future videos?" And she said, "Well, you know what is really relevant to women of our age, anyway, is scams." And she had had a good friend of hers show up at her doorstep, just a mess, you know, all overwrought, crying, sobbing, because she had had this call and they told her it was urgent and she had to convert money and she had to send it. And fortunately for her, she was not technologically savvy, so she couldn't follow their instructions and she was terrified that something horrible was going to happen to her. And fortunately, my friend was able to get her calmed down and explain that she was almost a victim of a scam. So I kind of took that idea and I said, absolutely, that is really important. And unfortunately, people of our age group, of a certain age, um, with life experiences, are being targeted more and more. And that's for a number of reasons. Number one, um, we tend to have a lot more at risk. We're targeted because we're perceived as being less technologically astute, and that may or may not be true. Um, and we're perceived as having more disposable income, and that also may or may not be true. Um, the second reason I'm doing this, and I'm doing it right now, is I run into scams on a relatively frequent basis, and it normally doesn't get to me. But a good friend of mine passed away recently, like last Thursday, and I just got a friend request from her, and that pushed me over the edge. It was too much, too soon, and for me, that said, we're doing this and we're doing this now, because that just flipped my bitch switch. Sorry. Um, so, today, right now, um, I've done my research. I don't know everything, but I've done some research. Um, and I'm going to talk to you about what I know about scams, scammers, and how not to be a victim to the best of my knowledge with what I know and what I've researched. Now, phone scams. You might not know this, but in less privileged companies where many large conglomerate companies have put their call centers, um, criminal industries procure those phone lists illegally from the call centers. They make a payoff to get those phone lists, and that's how scammers get your phone numbers. I actually saw that on a Netflix special. Yeah, that is the up and coming industry in areas where the drug trade is slowing down. Scamming is coming up, and those are in the big cartels are getting into scamming. as their number one business. And they're operating back room call centers. Um, they develop a story. Um, they try to sell something, asking a potential victim to send them some kind of untraceable money. And nobody feels remorse because they believe that all Americans are rich and we deserve to be scammed. Whatever, they're in it for themselves. You know, everybody's trying to make money. And it's a lot of cartels behind the phone scams. And a lot of scams have been, in fact, traced back to what used to be, or what is Russia at this point. So there are some very common scams that you may or may not be aware of. So listen up. If you hear about them, you'll know they're a scam. With the advent of rapidly advancing technology, the scams are advancing too in technology. Scammers are now able to use artificial intelligence program to do voice captures from social media and then manipulate the voice over the phone. So they can then call and make threats of kidnapping and put your beloved's voice on the phone with artificial intelligence manipulation. They can even mimic, clone your phone number. So what do? You asked your loved one to recall a fake memory. Okay, make something up. Make it kind of a whopper, but not a real big whopper. Okay, so make up a cousin or a quirky uncle that didn't exist, or make up a big family vacation, or make up something like the summer they had to repeat a course that they failed if they were an honor student. And guess what? Your real beloved is going to know the truth. They are not going to know the truth. And then make a bold move and get off the phone and try to reach them on another line. Actually try to call them up, because chances are very good that you're being scammed. Number one, because real kidnappers don't tend to pick on people unless they really have a lot of money. Or, you know, your beloved is generally not going to be kidnapped if they're not out of the country and in a third world country or something like that. I mean, it just generally does not happen, okay? So hang on to your heart. Try to contact your loved one. And if it is real, guess what? The kidnappers are going to call you again, okay? So hang in there. You get an email, here's another scam, from a friend or a grandson who is in a foreign country, in jail, or had a wallet or a passport stolen, and they need you to wire them money immediately. Now, number one, if they're in prison or in jail, they need to contact the American consulate immediately, not you. And that's what you need to tell them. Call the American consulate immediately, not you. Now, the one about the passport, somebody actually cloned my email and sent that out on Facebook, and deleted all my emails once. I found out about that because my piano tuner's wife called me one morning and said, "Cindy, where are you?" And I said, "I am at home in Glendale, Arizona." And she said, "Well, you just emailed me asking for money because you're in Mexico and lost your passport." And I said, "Nice to know." So that used to be a very common one. I don't know if it's common anymore. So the other thing you can do is tell your close family and friends when you're in and out of the country, when you're planning travel. Do not tell people on Facebook that, of course. You get an email that your computer has a virus. It's not from your virus checker. And they want your password to fix it. Never, never, never give out your computer password. Don't do it. Don't do it. Um, if anyone you don't personally know or trust or hire, um, don't give out your password. Okay. Hire your own people to look at your computer. You get a phone call from an agent of the IRS that you owe them money and you must pay it, or they will send a deputy out to pick you up. This has happened to me. Now, number one, the IRS does not have your phone number. They don't have it. Okay, they are not going to call you. They are going to contact you via certified or registered mail only. All right. So when they called me, I said, great. We'll be ready. You come pick us up. And they hung up on me. I immediately called my next door neighbor who said, well, that's good to know. And they were apparently going from a call center list. They did call my neighbor like within hours. And she said, great, you're picking up my neighbor too. So come get us at the same time. We'll be at their house. They hung up on her too. So yeah, just hang up on those people. Tell them to send you certified or registered mail. Do not accept friend requests from people who are already friends thinking that they accidentally deleted you. Okay, you can go and check your friend list and see if they're there. Chances are they're there and somebody has cloned their email. Okay, they can do that. Especially don't accept a friend request from somebody you know to be deceased. That is a sure sign somebody is trying to get access to you. Just delete the request. Just delete the request. They're trying to get access to you, they're trying to get personal information from you, or they're trying to sell you something. Either way, it's no good. You solve the puzzle online and win a cash prize, or a lottery winner wants to share their winnings with you, but they need you to send them just a small amount of money, just a small cash advance to cover shipping and handling and ensure that it's like seed money or something, to ensure that you're invested in the process. If you want $10,000, they want you to send $100. And the more you send them, the more they'll send you. And it's really not a scam. And they will have little notes from other people saying, really, this isn't a scam. I'm going to send more next time because I only sent $200, but I got $20,000. Yeah, it's all a scam. And guess what? Nobody who doesn't know you is going to share their winning lottery numbers or their winnings from the Powerball. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. You have been in an online romance with the love of your life, and they have a family crisis, and they desperately need money, and you are the only one they can turn to. Oh my goodness. How did they ever survive before they met you? Well, goodness gracious. You haven't met them in person. You don't know who they are. Guess what? You never give money to somebody you don't know. Not large quantities of money, especially if you don't have it to give, sweetheart. Remember, in all planes, when they're giving you that emergency lecture, you put your own oxygen mask on first, then you help other people. All right? It's the same with your retirement income. It's the same with your own money. Charity begins at home. You take care of yourself first. If you don't have that kind of disposable income, you don't make it available to people. And you especially don't make it available to people you don't know. You get a wrong number text, and this seems to be really prevalent now. I've had it happen a couple of times. You get a wrong number text, and it seems urgent. Something about somebody not being available for a meeting or not going to be at the meeting tonight. And so you send them your Good Samaritan thing saying, I'm sorry, you have a wrong number. And they text back. with a funny story or something, and a conversation ensues. Nope, don't get involved. They are in some way trying to get personal information from you, trying to get you to a website. They're trying to get you hooked into something, right? Send the message. Don't reply to anything else they have to say. Because anything beyond sending the message is uncalled for. All right. So what I do is I send the message, then I block the number. Okay. The Federal Trade Commission lists four signs that you are dealing with a scam. First, the scammers pretend to be from an organization you know. The scammers say there is a problem or a prize. They're trying to get your emotions involved and cloud your thinking. They want you to be in a stage that is not rational, because they know that if your emotions are high, you're going to tend to take action right away. And that's what they want you to do. They don't want you thinking. They don't want you to say, well, yeah, I don't know. Is this a good thing? Maybe I should ask somebody. They want you to go, oh my God, I have to do something right now. No, you don't. You want to stop. Always. Always. 3, the scammers pressure you to act now, act now, act now. The IRS called. They said, we will send a deputy out to your house to pick you up. Great. Send somebody now. I'm here. Super duper. Come get me. 4, the scammers tell you to pay in a very specific way. Almost always it's untraceable. They don't want a personal check. They don't want something through your bank. They want money wired internationally. They want Bitcoin. They want it untraceable so you can't get it back. Okay? Don't do that. Signs that you are in a scam relationship. Number 1, you've never met in person. And they always have an excuse. Something comes up. Insist on meeting in person. Or date locally. Tell these people, I only date locally. Can't do it. Sorry. I don't have a passport. I'm not going international. I don't care who you are. And I get these guys too. Trust me. They're always like in the military, high level. But guess what? If you go to their Facebook, try to flip down in their Facebook, and it only goes down like 6 pictures. They have no friends, right? Check them out. Check these people out. There's not a lot of substance there. The relationship moves very fast. Very fast. And they use the word love very quickly. They always ask for money because there's no one else they can ask for. And it's usually a situation, it's a medical emergency. It's an emergency of some sort. You're the only one they can go to. They need you. And then they're going to ghost you. Okay? So how do you protect yourself? Here are 9 ways I know of to protect yourself. Number 1, never, 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 never pay with gift cards. No reputable business is ever going to ask you to pay with gift cards. Okay? Most businesses are not going to ask you to pay in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or wire out of the country unless the business is out of country. Most businesses are going to take credit cards. Okay? These forms of currency are absolutely unrecoverable When they're gone, they're gone. You're not getting your money back. Okay? And this is just good practice to not pay people you don't know, to not give money to businesses you don't know. 2, never believe anything, especially if someone you don't know tells you it's a secret. Guess what? No governmental agency is going to involve you, more than likely, in a secrecy. Because number 1, it's above your pay level. And number 2, 100% of what happens with civilians is public record. Now, there are people that are going to say there's always exceptions, and that is undoubtedly true. But I'm talking about the vast majority, not the exceptions. I'm not that important to the government, I guarantee you. And I don't know about you, but I'm not that important. 3, ask for a callback number. Tell them you have an emergency. Ask for a callback number and then look that number up online. See if it traces back to the organization they claim to represent. Ask to speak to a supervisor. See if that person sounds like a supervisor. Another thing I do is, if I believe it's a hinky call to begin with, I tell them I'm not home. They ask for me by name, and I say, oh, I'm sorry, she's not home. You want to leave a message? And they say, when can we reach her? And I'll give them an arbitrary time. And they usually don't call back. Okay? You can use that too. That's an extra one for free. 4, if it seems unbelievable, guess what? It probably is. It probably is. 5, tell them you need 24 hours to think it over. Or you need to talk to your attorney, financial advisor, spouse. Tell them about it first. Now, my husband and I, we have just a general policy that we don't make any big financial decisions without thinking about it, without sleeping on it. I always take 24 hours to think about a big financial decision, period. It doesn't matter. If it's a good idea in 24 hours, then we'll do it. If it's a good idea now, it's a good idea in 24 hours. And if they can't make the same deal in 24 hours, then I'm not sure I want it. Because they're using sales tactics that I don't approve of, which means they're probably making other business decisions that I don't approve of too. If they're trying to force a decision, there's probably a reason for it. And I don't support businesses that use high pressure tactics, period. That is not part of my ethical upbringing. That is not part of my values. 6, take time to contact a trusted friend. Get a second opinion before you act. Even if you don't have a spouse, a financial advisor, or an attorney, call your best friend. Say, hey, I just got off this phone, or I got this hinky email. What do you think? Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. There is nothing embarrassing about asking for a second opinion. The reason these people are crooks and scammers is because they're smart. They're pulling one over on a lot of people, right? They didn't get to where they are by being dumb. 7, block unwanted calls and text messages, and Facebook people too. Trust me, nobody's feelings are going to get hurt. 8, if you use a dating service, and this is fine, focus on only meeting people locally. If you should happen to fall in love with somebody online, insist on part of your meeting being video conference calls up front. Okay. Refuse to get involved without doing a video chat, period, up front. That'll save you lots of misery later. Okay. Do not send money to people you have not met in person. That is just good policy. And lastly, check your Better Business Bureau for suspected scams. All right, it is right online. The I think it's bbb.org. bbb.org. There we go. Okay. Do business with people who are registered, who have references, preferably references from people you know. Okay. Because people can mock up references from anybody. Okay. Now, after the fact, if you should fall for a scam, it happens every day. Don't blame yourself. These people are professionals. These people are criminals. These people make a living doing this. Don't be embarrassed. It's not your fault. You are, in this case, a victim. They're professionals. Okay? Warn people around you. Report them. The only way to shut down these crooks is to expose them. Expose them. Not your fault. Okay? You can feel good then about sharing that information and helping save other people. I am going to put a couple links below on the places to get started. There are a couple places to report phishing, report fraud, and there is the BBB for scam tracking. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I know it's been a little long. So if you found out new information, hit like, smash me a like, and do please follow me. If you've got an idea for a future video, let me know. I'd like to see you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.